All praises to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel who were well, shalom to the earth elect. I'm going to start off the scripture, Revelation 3:17. Because thou sayest, I am rich, and increase with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked. And this pretty much goes into Esau exposing himself. I'm sure the brothers have seen this, but I wanted to make a little video about this. And this is Moab coming for Esau.
Sleeve. Check this out. Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer, and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
See, now this is going to expose a lot of people.
Now, yeah, let's go into that word, because the scriptures talk about being naked, right? When you go into that, let's see if I can go into etymology. Without clothes, and brothers often say this: Esau is the emperor without clothes. Especially of one's feelings or behavior expressed openly, undisguised. Now people are expressing, their disgust and hatred towards Esau. It's now in the open. People aren't hiding it anymore. I mean, before, these Chinese people, they will keep it under wraps because they were making money from this. But since these tariffs, Chinese are like, oh, you know what, might as well expose all of this. You know what I mean? They'd rather burn the house down, because that's how Esau is. So the nations are treating Esau how he's been treating them. When you go into the etymology of naked, it goes into unclothed, bare, empty. You know, and Esau's being showed his emptiness without the usual or customary covering. Now these nations had that customary covering of being, elite, of being high up, being better than the other nations. But these people are showing you that without the other nations to basically exploit, they're nothing, man. Uh, let me show this video quick, and this just shows you the stupidity of Esau. I'm gonna go back and just show a couple clips of that one, but let me just play this.
Who's in trouble, and its CEO isn't helping. This is David Calhoun, Boeing's president and CEO. He was appointed to the role in 2020, in the immediate aftermath of two deadly 737 MAX crashes. In the wake of these crashes, experts called on Boeing to return to its engineering roots. This is something the company has strayed from in recent years, with a greater focus on outsourcing and cost reduction. Now, Calhoun was brought in to right the ship. The only problem is that he is not an engineer by trade. In fact, his background is in private equity, an industry known for its cost-cutting ethos. And he also spent 26 years at GE, a company that practically invented the concept of trimming fat. All things considered, his appointment as CEO seems misaligned with what Boeing needs. And with the company experiencing several unforced errors during his tenure, it calls into question whether he's actually the right person to turn Boeing around.
So that just shows you how bare Esau is being made, man. I mean, these people don't have a clue, man. They're putting bankers in positions of engineers, and engineers in a position of bankers. It's just everything's upside down. It's like a form of nepotism, man. You have to put somebody who's fit for the job in that particular job. You can't you can't have a woman be head of an army. You know what I mean? You can't have a cat as a guard dog. And Esau does all these weird kind of stuff, and ultimately he's just destroying himself. Man, there's no more wisdom in teaming. If you're having somebody who's uh, a cost cutter, effectively being CEO or head of a company that has its foundation and roots in engineering, you're basically saying we're trying to make profit. You don't care about delivering a quality product, and that's all gonna contribute to the downside of this society, because it's not just Boeing that are doing that. They're doing that in every facet of their organizations and businesses. They're just cutting corners everywhere, and eventually their house is just gonna come down. It's a house of cards, man. This is Galatians 6:3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. And that goes for everybody, myself included, man. Because Esau thinks he's something when he's nothing. You know, if you don't have that level of humility, if you don't cultivate humbleness, the Lord is going to abase you. He's going to exalt those who are abased, and he's going to abase those who are exalted. And Esau has exalted himself to the clouds, you know. Let's go back to that video, man. There's a couple more of them. These, like, here you see this stupid ass Jake talking some bullcrap.
About y'all, but I don't understand why it became cool to get scammed, all because you got some really good branding.
You know the type of motherfuckers I really hate? I hate the motherfuckers that try to clown people that buy designer because they can't afford designer. Everybody main go-to is you spend that much on shoes and clothes, you're so dumb, or I could get one-to-one reps and all this other shit. People only buying designer because they insecure. Fam, I buy designer because I like it and I got the money to buy it. And I'm sure that goes for everybody else. And even then, if it's some people that can barely afford it, so what? It's their money. I don't be talking shit to nobody when they spend all their money on Plan Bs. I don't talk shit to nobody when they spend all their money on weed and cigarettes. I can say that's dumb shit to buy. I can talk about how dudes spend all their money on bitches that don't even fucking like them. But I can say that's some dumb shit to buy. Moral of the story, if majority of y'all really had like thousands of dollars in y'all bank account, y'all be buying designer with no hesitation. So quit coming on this app trying to clown people because they got designer and you don't.
Well, as somebody that has more than
Jake is just an idiot, you know. I was talking to a brother the other day, and I said Jake is pretty much just like Esau, and he said, "Well, they are brothers," and it's true. Jake acts just like Esau, because you one thing doesn't cancel out the other. I can't say because you go and you spend money on women, it means that, you know, I should be able to buy what's it these clothes, and it's the same. Just because you're doing something stupid doesn't justify me doing something stupid with something else. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of mindset that Jake has. Is that, well, okay, since you're being wicked, you can't judge me for being wicked, which makes sense in a way, but it's like you're justifying your wickedness. It'd just be better if everybody just operated with some level of integrity and intelligence. And these clothes, they don't even mean nothing. They're not even made to last. So I don't even know, man. Our people are completely lost. You know, and there's a couple more videos where they're just completely exposing Esau, man.
$5,000 on the back.
Luxury brands, they have two types of clothing. They have the clothing that they make for the rich people, and they have the clothing made for the poor people. It's the poor people that make the brand famous because they're walking around the mall with the logo of the brand. But it's the rich people who actually use that brand for the quality of the brand and not for showing that I'm wearing this brand. People who show off extra, who are always showing cars, and probably they're renting the cars, I don't know. But these people have insecurity because they don't have money. They want to show that they do have money.
I ain't gonna hold you. If you out here wearing wearing like a Gucci shirt, and then you got Gucci pants, you got the Gucci belt with the Gucci
Jake, man.
show for it so much, just to find out that that's actually $50.
And what's funny is somebody told me there's a store where you can buy like all the clothes, or you can buy directly from the providers that sell clothes to like Gucci. I don't even know a lot of these luxury brand names, but all these luxury brand names, you know, Tommy Hilfiger or whatever. Basically, they sell them clothes and then they just put their logo on it. But you can buy those clothes and those T-shirts unbranded, you know. And even a lot of this video, you got people sending people to be able to, you know, buy wholesale from these kind of people. Ultimately, you're just better just buying the unbranded clothes. I mean, the ridiculousness of it when you really start thinking logically and critically. You know, at no time in history did people wear clothes with brand names on it. You just had clothes that were quality clothes. They lasted for years, and that was your clothes. You know, you'd make a cloth out of lamb hide, or even a wolf hide. You know, you'd use silk, linen, whatever, and you just wore quality clothes, and they'd last for they'd last for a long time. Now you have all these you got Gucci, you got Nike, you got Adidas, you know, you got these higher end brands, you know, Balenciaga. It's all big fat writing on the back. At no time in history did humans wear stuff like this. I mean, just the level of narcissism you need to have to wear this stuff. It just shows you how the mindset of the people have just is degraded. Everything's just weaker than what it was. And why would you even care about clothes, even as a man? That's a very feminine spirit, man. You got that Jake, you know, with the hoodie talking about I want to buy, you know, luxury clothes and all that. That's a very feminine spirit, man. I just put on some clothes. I leave the house. I go to work. I come back. I go to gym. I ain't got time to be, you know, spending £1,000. Even if I did have the money, I would not spend it on that. And I know for a fact, because when I did have money, I wasn't buying them kind of clothes. I ain't got time for that. You could give me £1 billion, I would not spend £38,000 on a bag that costs £50 or $50 to make. It makes no sense. It's just a waste of money.
In Italy, Gucci 80% come from Chinese factory. They just add the logo in Europe to make you pay the price of 10 times. Close your eyes. If your hammer says made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's no quality issue. It's luxury brand washing. Fun fact, the hand stitching your product, 42% are Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap. We do underrated luxury. Why pay 2,000 Europe for Parisian air? Same leather, same craft, just without the European fairy tale facts. Be a luxury rebel. You can shop on Chinese platforms such as Taobao, 1688, Tianmao, Jingdong. You can even go directly to Guangzhou, Yiwu, Quanzhou, Wenzhou to buy. Don't know how to buy, how to pay, or arrange delivery? Just PM me. Go next to provide free shopping guidance and shipping services for you.
Y'all go follow her right there. Y'all see her page right there. Y'all go follow her. Y'all go check out her other videos.
There's nothing a Chinese factory can't make. Brooks Brothers, a premium shirt brand from the States, actually produce most of their products all in China. One of their largest suppliers is actually based in Guangdong in China. Interesting, the scale of the factories in this region specifically, they're not massive, but all of them are willing to invest heavily in research and development. For example, the world's first long-stable cotton gene sequencing product was completed here. Factories from this region are beloved by those world top brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Lacoste, Hugo Boss. Recent years, with the rise of emerging manufacturing countries like Vietnam and India, many might think that Guangdong's shirt industry might get impacted. But that's not the case, at least for now, because Guangdong's niche market is only for those middle to high-end markets like Europe and America. With its technological advantages, it will remain as a significant barrier. Alright guys, that's enough for today. If you're interested in more about manufacturer factories behind those big brands, leave your message in the comment section and I will talk in my next videos. And don't forget to follow Luna, your best sourcing partner.
Stop using Alibaba. Here are better website for sourcing factories from China for specific categories. For electronics components, visit OFFCN.com. For car accessories, check cheapheiyren.com. For industrial material, gobangbang.com. For clothing, check VVIC.com. For more sourcing tips, follow UP, your best business partner from China.
Listen, man, if you looking to create your own company and you trying to get that same look at Louis.
Let me just bring up a scripture, right? Because this is just ridiculous. This is Revelation 18 and 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all tyne wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, which thou shalt find them no more at all. Now, America hasn't been an industrial nation for decades now. You know, they've outsourced everything in a means to save money. You know, that's one of the reasons why I showed that other video with the Boeing boss. You know, because they're all about saving money. They're not about doing what's best for their people. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about a dollar. It's all about a buck. These people will sell their own people down the river. Even the scriptures say, if you're evil to yourself, to whom shall you be good? They're not good to their own people. So how they're going to be good to themselves ultimately, because they're the same people. And eventually the poor are going to eat the rich. So you're not even good to yourself. You think you're finessing the poor people, but eventually those same poor people are going to turn on you, which just shows that there's no wisdom in these people. And this dumbass nigga.
But the shoes and all the clothes is $38,971.85. Thank you.
So trying to grab all the bags. Right.
Thank you.
Total was 30,000. 2 bags. Thank you. 2 Berkeys.
What did you get? Can you check them out? Do it. Unboxing. Wow, how much are those? Oh, no. Where are you going to wear them? His wedding. Oh, no. Oh, designer, what did you get? A bag. Can we check it out?
Where are you going to tag me?
We'll see.
I got the yellow.
Oh, yellow. How much is that?
18.
Where are you going to wear that to?
For travel.
Where are you traveling to?
We're going to be traveling to different countries.
How much was that?
16.
Where are you going to wear that to?
Good question. Every day.
Excuse me? I love designer. What did you get? Yeah, what did you get? Oh, what is that?
We're watching people get robbed.
That last Edomite, he probably the only one who has any real money. He weren't about that, man. He probably had something where there was no labels on it. You know, the rest of the Jakes just wasting their money, man. It's just, you're spending money to look rich. This is why this place ain't got too much longer, man. And even with these so-called tariffs, who knows why Trump crashed the market? He could have crashed it so they can buy up cheap stock. Eventually, all of this stuff is gonna go away, man. This place is finished. Let's see this.
Has told it all. They're exposing everybody.
Which Chinese factory supply for Louis Vuitton? Let me tell you the secret. Louis Vuitton has many Chinese suppliers, but they just don't admit it. 50% of Louis Vuitton bags are from these 2 places. Number 1, Guangzhou City. Number 2, Dongguan City. 90% of Louis Vuitton silk is from Wanshili in Hangzhou City. I have a friend who is a manager in the factories of the Louis Vuitton, and he told me the similar quality only needs $50. That's crazy, right? Follow Daniel, help you find the best suppliers.
They rob you blind, and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs will only ship your job to China, not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollow out your middle class, crushed your working class, and taught you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodged tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flag wave poverty made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs fit your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back. I think you need a revolution.
So next time you go out and you want to spend it.
That was heavy. Revelation 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That's her, man. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. Remember her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Yo, this is Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heaven be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. You know, and the Lord is just exposing these people, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse till eventually this place has to go out in a war, man. You know, all of this stuff is just leading to war. You know, now China's doing propaganda against the US. The US been doing propaganda against China. You got the beef going in Ukraine and Russia. You know, that it seems to be dying down, but they're still fighting over there. When I say it's dying down, it's like people aren't talking about it anymore. Doesn't mean that it's not happening. All of this is gonna come to a head. The Lord is gonna destroy this place, man, and you can see it unfolding. It's just people are more preoccupied with the damn tariffs, which, you know, even the guy was talking about manipulating the markets, because once he brought in the tariffs, the stock market crashed. What do you think happens when the stock market crashes? These people go in, they buy the cheap shares, because eventually it's gonna go back up, because all these elites, all these rich people, all they have is an abundance of money. So all they do is buy stocks, shares, property, because these things eventually go up because they keep putting their money in it. Assets, stocks, all of this stuff eventually goes up because the money is worthless. The money is deflation. Is it's not worth anything, man. You know, if you have I always say this: you have £1,000 This year you can buy 1,000 loaves of bread because it's $1 or £1. Next year you got £1,000, $1,000. You can only buy 500 loaves of bread because it's now £2 or $2. The money is worth less. So because of that, even they say gold is increasing. Gold is the same value. It's the money that's decreasing. Gold has always been worth what gold is worth. A chicken is always worth what a chicken is worth. Beef is always what is worth what beef is worth. You know what I mean? It's just you have the money that's not worth anything. You know, you had events in the scriptures where you had things where they said they're gonna buy what was it? I can't be bothered to look into it, but it's like the city fell, right, and then everything was cheap because you had all these goods in, but the goods were still worth the same. It's just the human perception of it had gone up or down. So your mindset is being manipulated through scarcity, but something is always worth the thing that is worth. The only thing that's changed is your perception of it. Apple is always an apple. If you're full, an apple don't mean nothing to you, but if you're hungry, is very much precious to you. And these people are just manipulating your emotions to make you think something is worth more, something is worth less, when everything is the law doesn't change. So all these things are worth the same as they've always been worth. It's just Esau playing God and manipulating the worth of things to make you think it's worth less or worth more than it actually is. And the Lord is gonna bring all of this back to balance, man. Everything is gonna be what it's always meant to be, instead of these people going around manipulating things and trying to put themselves in the place of the Lord. That's pretty much it. This lesson, this lesson dragged on a bit. Lord willing, it was edifying. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders in Israel who were well. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.